foreign interference probe into the Canadian elections is picking up steam. This is the Great White North Report. So the inquiry into the foreign interference in our Canadian elections has been ramping up over the last couple of weeks, and there's been no real surprises so far, as far as I'm concerned. Canadian Security Intelligence Services warned the Prime Minister's office back in 2023 that China clandestinely and deceptively interfered in elections. No surprise there. Claims at least 11 candidates and 13 staffers were implicated in foreign interference. Again, no big surprise. And this is going back to the 2019-2021 federal elections. Why would they do that? Well, the Chinese Communist Party wanted the Liberals to win, but they didn't want them to gain a majority. They want a minority government. Simple as that, because they supported both Liberal and Conservative MPs, kind of playing both sides of the field. And that our Canadian Security Intelligence Service told the Prime Minister's office about it in February of 2023. No surprise again. We've known for over a year. Trudeau likes to sit on the information and doesn't really release it because it would hurt him politically. Now referred to 7 Liberal candidates and 4 from the Conservative Party. And there was also online and media activities aimed at discouraging Canadians, particularly of Chinese heritage, from supporting the Conservative Party leader Erin O'Toole, and particularly Stevenson Richmond East candidate Kevin Shui, said the briefing note. And in 2021, it was the PRC's activities were mostly motivated by a perception that the Conservative Party of Canada was promoting a platform that was perceived to be anti-PRC. Well, I wonder why with Kovrig and Spav were in jail. So that's why China was. China was trying to keep Canada in line as far as that goes, and to give it a more of a PRC feel, even though they've been keeping Kovrig and Spav in prison and doing a lot of other stuff which pissed off Canadians. Now they're also referencing to $250,000 transfer from Chinese officials. First to a staff member for a 2019 federal election candidate, then to an Ontario MPP. So they're not just going after federal politicians, but also provincial politicians. And that, again, is no surprise. They did the same thing in Australia. By targeting at the provincial level, they can get deals done behind the federal government's back with the tier system. Why do they target staffers? Because then they're in the loop. And staffers influence what the candidates see. A lot of staffers will do the grunt work of sifting through reports, garnering support, all the stuff they do in the back. And if the staff in the back is corrupted, then so is the politician. So Chinese money went a long way. It's probably just the tip of the iceberg. The PRC also pays for ads in Chinese newspapers promoting what they think, and they want to keep Canada on the fence, or on their side at least, especially in regards to Taiwan, which I think is a mistake. And then we're going to, of course, question the witnesses in the Winnipeg lab intelligence breach and the Canada-China relations. China wants to reestablish better relations with us. I say to hell with them. It's time to stop that. Now, Federal Health Minister Mark Holland suggests no money. There are gaps in the early stages of screening scientists at secret-level facilities, such as the National Microbiology Lab in Winnipeg, because it is possible to lie. But again, how stupid do you got to be? Anybody of any real importance coming from China will have ties to the Communist Party. It's that simple. And to think otherwise would be naive and show how stupid you are in regards. And they're talking about Dr. Zhong Guokui and her husband Kenning Cheng, who were escorted out of NML back in 2019 and had their securities revoked. They were officially dismissed in January 2021. Why does it take 2 years? Where are they now? I would love to know. They should be in jail. Dr. Kui, she was influential in starting up the Wuhan Microbiology Lab. She brought people there to Winnipeg to train on how to run a microbiology lab. It's well known. It's well documented. So CSIS concluded in 2020 that Kui was intentionally sharing scientific information and materials with China, potentially putting people's health in jeopardy. Duh, it's called the pandemic, the COVID pandemic we just had, the CCP virus. And according to a report by Globe and Mail, Kui and Cheng are now working in China. So we let them go. Instead of using them as pawns to get back Kovrig and Spavor, we let these two go. So now we got to revise our policies, and I would say cut all scientific ties with China, mainland China itself. The PRC cannot be trusted, and they will interfere and influence everything. And that includes our foreign relations. So foreign interference, like I said, goes far beyond federal elections. So the commission headed by Marie-Jose Hogue appears to be doing incredible work in investigating, much better than David Johnston. David Johnston was a family friend of Trudeau who was just basically told to hold things under the rug. And it destroyed Johnston's reputation. So in another report by CSIS, 17 officials reviewed 620 documents containing 43,000 pages of classified material. China was cited on foreign interference more than any other country in its 54-page report, 69 times, and Russia was next with 61. Of course, Russia would also want to know what we're doing over the Arctic, and with NATO, and with NORAD, as well as with any other alliance we're in. This report again engaged in all interference at all levels of government, federal, provincial, municipal, and indigenous, targeting 3 key areas such as elections, politicians, and their staff, regardless of a political affiliation, as well as subnational areas of government. That way they can do deals through the back doors, getting indigenous leaders on board for certain deals in the north, as well as politics, like in BC. Timber, mining concessions, things like that. There was a gold mine up in the Northwest Territories, or was it Nunavut, that they wanted access to. Things like that. They can interfere and bribe our elected officials, or get staffers to nudge them in certain ways. They were also bussing in international students, giving them fake ideas to help them nominate people they wanted. That happened in Toronto. So the response to that is simple. Close off those avenues. Do not allow Chinese and international students, and stop all scientific programs with China. That would definitely get rid of that problem. Now, another one that came up was India and Pakistan attempted to interfere in Canada's elections. So India and Pakistan would target Indo-Canadians and Pakistani Canadians, of which there are a lot of both. We don't call Brampton, Ontario, Bangladesh for nothing. And India has definitely been more brazen with the assassination of the Khalistani movement guy, which I don't agree with the Khalistani movement, but again, you don't need to go assassinate somebody on Canadian soil for it. India would definitely be interested in what, and because Indo-Canadians make up a large percentage of our country now, they're the highest immigration percentage in Canada in the last 5 years. So it is possible to influence them. Pakistan would be a very minor player. Pakistan needs world support. Canada used to support Pakistan a lot until it turned out that they were hiding Osama bin Laden. Then it's kind of been drying up. But we still give foreign aid to Pakistan, and their country desperately needs it. India needs our help against China, and also they want to keep that Khalistani thing under wraps. So it's no surprise, even though they've already denied it, like they always do. According to CSIS, government of India had intent to interfere and likely conduct clandestine activities. Use of Indian government proxy agent in Canada, according to an unclassified summary written by them. Pakistani officials in Canada attempted to influence Canadian federal politics with the aim of furthering the government of Pakistan's interest in Canada. More so probably with foreign aid, and try to get Canada to side with Pakistan over their conflicts with India. There's not much Pakistan can do, because I consider Pakistan just a limited foreign interference actor. The United States is probably more so in Canada, but that's a given with the United States. But India and Pakistan are in a tug of war to get as many allies as they can. It would be in India's best interest if we stepped away from China and towards India, and it would be in Pakistan's best interest if we stepped away from India and had closer ties with Pakistan and China. The best way we can get rid of that is simply by cutting off immigration to those countries. I think we have enough, and also the international students. Just by doing that, we already limit foreign interference. So it's definitely interesting reading about all this interference stuff. It should have been brought out when David Johnston was the special rapporteur. But again, he tried to keep things under wraps. And it led to a lot of speculation. It led to his downfall and his credibility. And here we are. Trudeau is getting hammered again with another scandal. He could have avoided this simply by coming out in the open. But he chose not to. And it just shows you how weak Canada is at this moment on the international stage, and how Trudeau's policies have created that mess. But any Canadians out there, let me know what you guys think about the foreign interference, and what should we do? Leave comments in the comment section. Until next time, this has been the Great White North Report. I'm in love with the